episode 6 of the Phalanx report. Today is Friday. Hey, it's Friday, February 9th, 2018. Today we're going to be talking about depreciation, actual cash value, and replacement cost value. Left you off in the last episode about what to do when the insurance company has come out and performed their inspection, what to expect after that has taken place. We alluded to the terms ACV, RCV, and depreciation. Today I'm going to take just a couple of minutes today and explain what those terms actually mean and where you can find the definitions of those. Depreciation is where we're going to start. I like to refer to it as ransom money. Ooh, big scary ransom money. The insurance companies, they absolutely hate it when we call it ransom money, and I think it's hilarious because it's really what it is. They're applying it based on the age and the condition, the materials that have been damaged. Certain states, it's material only. Other states, it can be material and labor, which really sucks. Haven't figured out how they can depreciate labor yet, but the courts have ruled that they can do that. Indiana, it's a coin toss. Some people say you can do it. Some people say you can't do labor. Right now, obviously, we don't believe that you can depreciate labor, so we try to push it on the material only. The reason we call it ransom money is, in a sense, if you have a full replacement cost policy, they depreciate it by the age and the condition, and that number can be a percentage. It can be a flat number. It's not supposed to be a flat number, but some insurance companies like to do it. It's just a flat figure in there, whatever. They're holding that back until the work has actually been completed. Some insurance companies, if it's a promise to repair, or if you notify them of intent to repair, they'll go ahead and release that depreciation. In a sense, if the company comes out and they say, we're going to spend X amount of dollars, we want to make sure that you're actually putting it towards what we're telling you to put it towards. Once you tell us that you're going to do it, or you show us that you have done it, we'll kick out the rest of it, and then you can just move on and hope we don't have to have another claim on this. Where this gets really kind of tricky is there's two types of depreciation. You have recoverable and you have non-recoverable. Recoverable is the situation I just explained. They take half of it, or whatever that percentage is. You do the work, you get the rest of the money. Everything's great. Non-recoverable, they depreciate it. The depreciated amount is gone. It's just gone. It's gone. Bye. If you want to get the work done, you're going to have to pay that extra out of your pocket above and beyond the deductible. This is why it's so important to know what your policy says. Be careful when you're buying a policy to make sure you're getting full replacement cost coverage. Actual cash value, everyone gets excited. They're like, hey, actual cash value, that means they're going to give it to me exactly what it's worth. That's the problem, is they give it to you what it's worth. If I've got a 20-year-old roof, they're going to basically try to pay what that roof would be 20 years ago in today's market on the age and the condition. If you paid 10 grand for that roof 20 years ago, it could only be worth $2,000. That's all they're going to give you, and they're going to wish you the best of luck and give you a little pat on the butt and say, hey, thanks, appreciate you saving us $8,000 so we don't have to pay that now. The difference in premiums, I'm not an agent, I'm not an underwriter, but I can tell you right now the difference in premiums, if you go to your agent and you ask him what kind of policy, they say you have an ACV or an actual cash value, you tell them that you want to take it up to a replacement cost value. The cost difference between those two is not significant enough to deter you from getting that type of policy. You want a full replacement cost policy, because in that same scenario, 20-year-old roof, if it was $10,000 20 years ago, it could be $30,000 in 2018. They're going to pay you up to the $30,000, whatever it actually costs to replace it in today's market, and they're going to pay that fully, less your deductible, or if you want to upgrade it, that's an additional deal. We'll talk about that in a different episode. So that's why I'm saying I cannot ever stress enough. It is important to know your policy and what coverages you have on your purchase policy. If you don't understand those, which most people don't, get a hold of somebody that specializes in policies. Call a public adjuster. Call a neighbor or friend that is an agent or has been an adjuster or has been through a claim and learned the hard way on what they have and what they need. Just make sure you know what you have coverage for. So we're talking about replacement cost value at this point. That's the gold standard. That's the awesome policy you can get. Most insurance companies, I hate to say it's their standard policy, but most of the time that you have to buy it up into that. A lot of agents like selling it up front because it's more expensive. Agents get paid a percentage off of whatever your premiums are, so it's a sales game, but it's worth the price of admission. If you can cut any cost in your policy, this is not one of them. You do not want an actual cash value policy. They're horrible. The replacement cost, they're still going to depreciate it on the front end. If we have a $10,000 roof, it's 20 years old, insurance company comes out and says, we'll give you $2,000 right now. That's the actual cash value. You have another $8,000 in available recoverable depreciation once you either do the work or tell us that you're going to do the work. That's fine. Don't panic. They're going to give you $2,000 to start. That's why we call it ransom money. Once you show them that you've done the work, they will send out the remaining portion of that up to the actual cost to repair or replace that damaged part of the property. Also, with replacement costs, there are a lot of provisions that if you do not do the work within a certain time frame, be careful. Again, know your policy. Most companies give you 2 years. There are certain carriers, American Family comes to mind, they're the worst. They give you 1 year to recover that depreciation. Most other ones are 2 years. Some of them don't have a limit, but if you know the policy in there, stay within that time frame. Because if you go past that time frame, be 1 year at AmFam, 2 years with everybody else, or there are other companies. Some of them want you to notify them within 180 days of the loss that you intend to do the work. If you don't follow those provisions, they will convert your policy from a replacement cost value to an actual cash value policy. They can do it. It's in the policy. It's not their fault you didn't follow the policy rules. Got to know your policy or get somebody to help you walk through it that understands your policy. I couldn't even begin to tell you how many times somebody walks through that door crying because they got the work done a year and a half ago. They waited 6 months after they got the work done, and now they realize that they have an extra $15,000, $20,000 out there from an insurance company. They say, hey, what can we do? And I say, nothing. You violated the policy, so deal with it. You got to play by the policy rules. That's the rules we have to play by. The insurance company has to play by them. We have to play by them. Policyholders have to play by them. Know your policy. Don't go past that replacement cost time frame to get your depreciation released. Now we're going to talk about the nasty actual cash value. Horrible. Don't do it. Don't. Nah. Never ever sign up for it. It's not recoverable. That money, like I said, Viles con Dios, mi amigos, that money is gone. Bye. They'll depreciate it to the point. A lot of times, certain states have caps on what that depreciation amount can be as a percentage. Most insurance companies will max out about 80%. Some of them don't care. They don't have a soul, and they'll take it down to 90 or 95%. It's not uncommon to see an insurance company depreciate a loss to the point where if you have a $10,000 loss, they'll depreciate at 90%, leaving you $1,000 left over. You have a $1,000 deductible. They'll say, yeah, we agree. Your roof needs to be replaced. Here's a piece of paper telling you to go pound sand. Get out of here. We don't owe you a dime. Thanks for paying. Thank you for being part of, whatever company you're with. That's why it is such a horrible policy. It is nothing but a setup. Don't do it. It can cost you an outrageous amount of money. And the worst part about it is if they come out, they inspect, they depreciate the hell out of the thing. You have a deductible. They tell you, yeah, we agree it needs to go. You don't do it because you can't afford it or you don't want to fork out the money that offsets your non-recoverable depreciation. Now you have a claim on your file, and the claim on your file is verified by the insurance company and the adjuster that the damage does indeed exist. They're going to dump that on your shoulders. And if you don't do the work and you file another claim, even with a different insurance company, you say, screw them, I'm going to a different insurance company. I'm going to go with somebody with, somebody keeps talking about, pedicure hands or whatever. I mean, you want to go with a different insurance company, that's fine. They know, because they talked to the other insurance companies, that you had a claim on that property and you never did the work. You file a claim on it, that's fraud. They're going to come out and say, no, your other insurance company paid for that. You never did the work. They indemnified it per the terms of the policy. We're not going to cover that part of the property anymore until you show us that it's been replaced. So the ACV, it's just literally bad eggs. Really bad juju. Don't touch them. Not a fan. The other thing, too, is that if you do fall in love with the idea, or if it's such a bad shape that you have to replace it, you're going to be opening yourself up to having to go to maybe a third-party finance company to finance the difference between whatever the recover or your actual payment was, whatever your non-recoverable depreciation is. If that number, I've seen it as high as $100,000 in non-recoverable depreciation, and you've never felt your heart bleed until you've had to explain that to somebody and say, yeah, they've agreed to pay for everything. However, it's been depreciated so bad because it was in such bad shape. It's a $200,000 loss. You have a $25,000 deductible. You have $100,000 in non-recoverable depreciation. You're getting $75,000 to pay for a $200,000 loss. You're going to have to come up with the difference somewhere else. So, again, I'm done talking about depreciation. I'm done talking about those two types in the policy. If you have any questions about those, feel free. Hit us on the website, www.spartanclaims.org. Hit us up on Facebook. Just drop us a message on the YouTube channel, whatever. I'll be happy to go over that with you in detail if that's a concern of yours or a question. Again, know your policy. Muy importante. Know your policy. For now, February 9th, 2018, I'm watching Chicago get smoked by a snowstorm right now, and Indianapolis is in the crosshairs for some ice storms. I'm out of here. We'll catch you on the next one. Thank you so much.